hear you.
Watch your step in the concourse.
Mind your step here beckoned. I wouldn't want the Colosse's failure to claim any more lives than it already has. Very well.
You must be the beckoned.
What can I do?
Many greetings, stranger.
The gods are good to us. I almost did not see.
The number of rats has become greatly diminished. I see your hand in this. If ever you meet doubters of your divinity, tell them of what you have accomplished in the sewers. Please, take this amulet with my thanks. You are now an honorary sewer mason. A great accomplishment indeed. If you have the inclination, I'd like you to take another trip into the sewers. There are always more rats to defeat.
Be careful here.
Ah, the famed beckoned comes to me at last. Admittedly, my request might be the smallest you will hear, but I wish to voice it nonetheless. I'm just one who's intent on maintaining the cultural integrity of her people. We were once no nobler than the Jotun or the Etin. Some would purge this history, but then how will we remember it? This is a place for those who are weary of their burdens. If you feel so, you can rest for a while. To preserve the past. All around us is the great chisel and hammer of progress, keen on dragging my people towards enlightenment. But such progress means nothing without context. I wish for someone who can find artifacts of my ancestors, reminders of our simpler times. Very good. I'll reward you for any artifacts you can find, but larger artifacts will do well for both of us. I await your findings. They are strewn throughout the teeth of Naros. They may be hidden in forgotten corners or carried by beasts as trophies. They are little things, of no intrinsic value. But as my people are so convinced to make progress, these artifacts are the few records of who we once were. Good luck in your search. suspected the Beckoned would arrive.
Watch your step in the corridor.
Beyond these stairs is the sanctuary of the Primos, the leader of the Colossi people in the teeth of Naros. I must warn you, Anakotos has not left these quarters in years. He vowed to never cease his prayers until the gods answered them, and his people have languished for it. But I think his answer has finally arrived. Speak to him, Beckoned. His people have need of him. After years in his sanctum, I doubt he is the Primos I once knew. But though we all languish in the god's absence, none suffer as he does. He will likely see you as the answer to his prayers. Farewell.
Is there anything I can assist with?
And though the path be fraught with tribulation, know that it leads to the land of our greatness, and that we walk it with you. Such were the words the gods spoke to the progenitor of my race when they sought to guide us from our base origins into a fruition of potential. Words have been in my heart every day of my reign, but now they are embodied. Welcome, Beckoned. At last, this city will be complete. I am the Primos of the Colossi people. As I lead them in politics, I lead them in prayer. The messenger of the gods, one summoned to bring the word of faith back to our people. I always assumed that the Beckoned would be one of my own kind, but you bear the cipher. Your role cannot be made more clear. This land is the crucible by which my people might be forged to their new destiny. Vicious and inhospitable, it rebukes my people's every step. Many are the artifacts strewn throughout this world, but the cipher of Athene, I have seen its outline traced in tomes and scrolls, but never in person. Bearing it makes you an embodiment of her power, Beckoned. She sees and hears through you. This is greater than any city or any temple that you will find in this world. Of that I assure you. But the city, though magnificent, is only half completed. The goddess has shepherded my people for generations. She was responsible for the growth of my people. Somehow, we were found unworthy of her. I have prayed to learn why, but her anger must be far too great. Because we are all of us, my whole people, incomplete. Because we are not worthy enough, not deserving enough to see such wonders of the gods. And I thought that failure was a finality. I have prayed to the gods in seclusion in hopes of an answer, but they were as quiet as the silent choir. Now the beckoned is come. With you, the gods can bear witness to us atoning for our inadequacies. We must start at once, beginning with the wreath of absolution. Something no Primos would ever wish to wear. They are only made in times of great need, when we must prove to the gods our devotion. The Wreath of Absolution can only be created from the hands guided by Athene. I must ask you to assemble it. First, a golden prayer circlet is needed to serve as its base. The art of crafting one is all but lost to us, but I require one all the same. The last Primos to wear a Wreath of Absolution, Arcais, is buried with one such circlet. Sakandra led you to me, did she not? Then she will lead you to the circlet. He led my people into the times that you see today. The gods did not favor his reign, clearly. The Silent Choir is a group of our most faithful followers, and serve me as I serve the gods. So deep is their faith that they never speak upon entering service. It lies in his crypt, in the darkest pits beneath the city. They are old halls, and they have fallen into disuse. I understand there might be trepidations in taking such an artifact from my predecessor's crypt, but I assure you, it is ordained. The times we have arrived at are desperate, and when the heavens show their intent, one cannot stand too much on ceremony. The end of this awaits.
You return. Well, the Primos has not graced the ears of his subjects in ages. What has he said to you? The circlet of Arcais. And Anakatos expects me to lead you to it? Has his reclusion left him senseless? Has he forgotten his history as well as his people? Very well. As I cannot refuse the Primos, I will meet you in the crypts, in the undersewers of the city. Let us deal with this as quickly as possible. You are the first to hear his voice in some time. I almost thought he would join his acolytes in their silent pact. But his prolonged absence from his people has taken its toll on his judgment. Does the crypt of Arcades have no sanctity to him? I have had chances to speak of Arcades before, but it is not fitting for me to discuss him. Not now. We can find it in the crypts beneath the city's sewers. They are old structures, forgotten as the city was built above them. Be cautious in these lands. Come. If Anakatos wishes us to retrieve this circlet, we will do it quickly. I wish to be done with this. Farewell. Be cautious. There are marauders here. What can I do? There. That is the artifact you seek. The Circlet of Arcades. By taking it, Arcades' grave becomes an empty tomb. Let us depart. Onakatos has had his fun with me, and there is nothing left to plunder. It is nothing I can share with you, Beckond. It is not worth your time. I always thought that were I to come to Arcades' crypt, it would be because of the work of gods alone. And here I am, by the will of none but Onakatos, flesh and blood. I cannot! I will not! Even after all these years, he has not forgotten his brand of viciousness. He knows I must obey his command. I apologize for my outbursts. However, it can be hard to let convictions go. But we must. We must. Take the circlet back to Onakatos. He is most likely waiting for you. Be cautious in these lands. What can I do? No one comes down here anymore. It is left to ruin, for the Colossi have no more need of these halls, or those interred within them. How many years did our masons toil to assemble this place? And look at it now. How easily we discard the labors of our past.
Welcome to Idylla. You bear the circlet of Arcades. Then the wreath is almost complete. The foundation is gold with runes of prayer, as I said. Now, it must be woven with blood and toil. The Colossi furnish the foundation and nature furnishes the trappings. The laurels of the wreath are not crafted, but earned. We seek Teryx veins. Once they are ours, once the wreath is complete, the ritual of atonement can begin. I take it you have encountered a Teryx before. Likely the mongrel, carrion-eating scavengers that plague us. They are a common foe. We seek the veins of the Alpha Teryx. They are fierce and proud, all that is wild and savage in nature. To prove to the gods the righteousness of our faith, then we must conquer a mighty foe. They will serve. The gods sent you to bear witness to our atonement. To do that, we must complete the Wreath of Absolution. The wreath is made from the large feathers, the veins of the Teryx Alphas. They live in Eris to the south. Come, Beckoned.
Keep the peace.
You are the Beckoned. Are you in need of medical assistance? I know the healing arts. Be careful if you choose to debate.
Have you seen the...
Davis forsake.
Anacotis walks among us, and the citizens are awed. This act seems small to you, Beckoned, but it is enough to give my people hope. I thank you on their behalf, if nothing else. Yes, what do you need of me? Very well.
We are here. That is good. I feel hope stirring in my veins once more. It is the prospect of reconciliation that has granted me a second youth. Come. We must kill the alphas of each Eyrie. With their veins in hand, we shall fulfill the gods' wishes. The Terex Eyries lie in the wilds of the teeth of Naros, to the south of the city. We need not look far to find what we seek. But while there are many lesser Terex here, we seek only the plumage of their strongest and brightest. These are the true challenge. Salvation awaits. Feel my wrath! Feel Balin's embrace! Thus we begin. And as we harvest these trophies, you shall learn the journey the Colossi have taken to get here. Once we were but savages, no better than the other giant kin. We were called Myru, and to that identity we were chained, until one day, Athene spoke to us. She spoke of a destiny and greatness that was not ours, but could be. She showed us the path of ascension, and we followed it here, to the teeth of Naros. No, we are far from the homeland of our ancestors. Undoubtedly the gods wished us to renounce our savage history. It was necessary. Though the Jotun and Etin once regarded us as kin, they grew jealous of us, of the strength we gained from the gods' favor. Tensions rose to war. It was a sign from Athene to my people to seek a new homeland, where the bounty of her wisdom could be harvested eternally. We must act. Feel Balin's embrace! Come. We wandered the teeth of Naros in search of the homeland we were promised. And when hope seemed lost, we found the Hyperion. It was a divine artifact, No mortal hand could have crafted it, a massive stone, alone in the wilderness, with the image of a floating city engraved upon its surface. At the city's heart was the Hyperion itself. We knew then Athene was tasking us to craft this wondrous city, to form a covenant. But we betrayed that ideal. To test our worthiness, the gods have strewn throughout Amalur riddles, puzzles, and challenges. Answering them demonstrates our greatness. The Hyperion is one such challenge, perhaps the greatest of them. And though we discovered it years before, we still do not have the answer. Salvation awaits. Feel my wrath! Feel my wrath! Feel Balin's embrace. Feel Balin's embrace. In the end, the city rose, but the Hyperion did not follow. The heart of the city remained unmoved. That we could not abide. My predecessor, Arches, sought to force the Hyperion up, but the Hyperion rejected him, killing him and his followers, and sealed itself away. Our work here is concluded. Since you seem to favor the arts of magic, take these. I used them once. May they guide your meditations. I must make the gods see that my people can be redeemed for the faults of Arches. With the wreath in hand, I can conduct a ritual of atonement. As you bear the cipher, the conduit to the gods, you will bear witness. Come. We must conduct this ceremony at the site of our original transgression. Let us go to the Hyperion. If it will not, then why were you brought to me? To give pretense to salvation, to raise our hopes, only to crush them with failure? I know the gods of my forerunners. They would not flaunt the answer to their riddles without sharing it. Now come. The Hyperion awaits. Very well, Beckett. Then, one Myru heard the whispered golden notes of the voice of wisdom herself, Athene. The goddess bid him to raise up his brethren, so they may know the favor of the gods once more.
We are Athene's chosen. We follow her path. Guide us to your blessed wisdom.
And so this Myru gifted them with Apothani heart, and the newly born Colossi found deliverance. And with the gods once more upon the mount, so did they surge towards the teeth of Naros, towards majesty.
Your prophet leads us to glory in your name. Blessed is the way of Kraos.
Beckoned. I was told that you and the Primos are allowed to enter. By all means, conduct what business you have within. You have come, good. We stand in a ground once hallowed beyond all things, now tainted by the excommunication of my people. Ever since that terrible day when arrogance and desperation brought about the disfavor of the gods, my followers have tended this place. Now come. We shall go to the antechamber of the Hyperion, the very spot where the sins of the Colossi were answered. The antechamber is the flawed design of Arcais. It was the means by which he sought to force the Hyperion to join. It was to do so using the spark of divine magic Athene placed into each of us, that these fragments combined would create a force equal to that of a god. Such power was never meant to be wielded by the unworthy. The energies struck back at Arcais, and the many assembled in his chamber, killing them. It is where the former Primos, Arcais, bade the Hyperion to rise to join our city. Where the gods saw fit to condemn us for our hubris, it will be the altar of our forgiveness. It is a riddle carved of stone that the gods left for us. It shows a city of the clouds, with the Hyperion itself floating at its heart. It was a covenant the gods wished to form with us, to raise Idylla and the Hyperion with it. But the riddle is difficult, and we have no answer for it. The end of this awaits.
I am glad to see you survived the Teryx Eries beckoned. And now I see that Anakatos is intent on fulfilling his whim. I would be careful. The temple is old. My soldiers are still dealing with the Jotun, but with Karunk dead, I can resume my other duties of keeping peace in these lands. Unfortunately, that includes this. Anakatos personally requested my guards, and I escort his followers here. I dislike this place. This cavern is nothing more than a tomb, a monument to Arcais and those that died following him to ruin. We learned definitively that all the trials we surmounted, all the strife we weathered in pursuit of Athene's love, had been in vain. But the most important lesson was learned by few. We cannot depend on the heavens to support us. We should make our own way in this world. Arcais and Anakatos have already shown me the delusions of faith. I only hope this farce is done with quickly. Be cautious in these lands.
Much was ruined in that dark hour. The magics holding the paths together were unbound. Only the cipher can reorder such magics. Press ahead and set the path. Almost done, Beckett. Again, we find the way barred. I'm afraid I need your help once more. Almost done. Almost done. We have reached it. Beyond that stone is the Hyperion, the gift of the gods, the symbol of a covenant concluded. It rests out of reach, waiting for the day when the gods forgive our trespass, when they find us worthy again. Until now, I feared such a day would not come. We should begin. The gods visited this room once before. It seems only fit that you occupy their position. I will take my place where Arceus once stood. Long before, Arceus dared grasp the power of the gods and was judged according to his impudence. We act now as their analogues. In you, the gods visit this chamber once more. You shall stand where they appeared and made manifest their wrath. And I shall stand where Arceus stood and bore the brunt of their imminent will. We are so close now. Thank the gods! Praise be to them. After all this time, I bear witness to their confirmation. You have done so well, Beckoned, to bring the cipher to me, and to let me use its strength. With you, I can do what Arcase could not. Command the Hyperion. The gods have found my people unworthy of the gifts offered us. So, using the Hyperion, I will see Idilla destroyed. The wicked will be purged. And once the city falls, I will reforge the ruins in an image the gods find acceptable. I'm sorry, Beckoned, but you must be a martyr for my cause.
beckoned. What has happened? Why are Onakatos' acolytes attacking us? What is he doing with the Hyperion? The Primos has lost his senses. If he thinks his actions will return the love of the gods, he's gone mad with grief. Destroy Idylla? No! That zealous fool! Have the loss of his gods driven him to such despair to use the Beckoned and the Cipher for such ends? We must make our way from this place. We cannot stop Onakatos from here. Take this talisman. The Silent Choir acolyte who bore it won't need it anymore. Now let's move. How if we cannot reach him? And we can do nothing to stop him if his worshippers kill us here. We must make for the surface, and hope that there is time enough for us to deal with him. Farewell. What can I do? Onakatos has sealed himself in with the Hyperion, and his Silent Choir will lay down their lives for him. I do not know what to do, Beckoned. I have defended my people from beasts and disasters, but nothing like this. Of course, I will not let Onakatos destroy my people because he believes the gods demand it. I know we have the strength we need inside of us, despite his claims. We are worth saving, even if the gods disagree. But Onakatos has sealed himself in the Hyperion antechamber. Without the cipher and knowledge of the Hyperion, we are lost. Onakatos was clever by exploiting your power. The cipher must be the key to unlocking the Hyperion, and he has broken it in his plan. But that is the one thing my people have been unable to do since we first came here. Only the Primos would know enough about the riddle for us to even try. Onakatos and his Silent Choir had a monastic retreat in the wilderness, Naros. If we need his knowledge, we best start our search there. It is an old portion of the city that was never raised up. It was supposed to be a shrine of quiet contemplation. Now it is the refuge of Onakatos' Silent Choir. The complex rests where it was first carved, in the Mountains of the Teeth. Naros is one of the many portions of the city carved out, but never raised into the sky. Onakatos and his Silent Choir use it as a retreat. Be cautious in these lands.